everyone. This is Dr. Ron once more, and we're here for another episode of Boomer Life Lessons and Stories. I do hope this episode finds you well. I know sometimes life is a struggle, but we endeavor on and do the best we can for ourselves, for our family, and for others. Reaching out for those that need a bit of help in times like this is, of course, the right and proper thing to do. With that, let's go ahead and give you a short reminder. Please help us with the YouTube algorithm by hitting the like, share, and subscribe button. It will actually move us up in the overall rankings. And perhaps by doing so, we can reach more people and help more people with the things that we have to say, whether they find it helpful or entertaining. And the entertaining part oftentimes comes from my wife. She's always putting little, does something come up through here? Little critiques on what we're doing. I don't know. She does that just to poke fun at me. And perhaps I do deserve that. Okay. With that, I'm going to start my little timer so that I don't go on for a long period of time. My wife does say that I do like to lecture, and perhaps I do. But we're going to try to keep it short. Today's episode, it's entitled The First Principle for Success in Life. You might say that this is a continuation of what we discussed in episode 52, which was breaking a sweat and the act of creation. So if you go back and look at that perhaps first before you view this episode, it might be helpful. And we'll kind of pick up those thoughts and move them forward. Okay, so what is the first principle for success in life? Let me summarize this by quoting Matthew McConaughey again. I do like this Texan. He has a lot to say about life in a very practical and thoughtful way. He says, nothing you get is worthwhile unless you break a sweat. So we're back at this idea of working hard, breaking a sweat. Anything worthwhile is never easy or free. So that kind of gives you the hint about the first principle or the key principle in building success in your life. And that is, you must put the effort in. Nothing really long-lasting happens by accident for most of us, right? I mean, there's the odd occurrence of people winning the lottery, and then you'll see most of them end up going broke, unfortunately, because they don't know how to manage money. Well, why is that? Why is it that when people do happen to come by money, whether through the lottery or through hard work, they end up in bankruptcy? Well, perhaps they didn't equip themselves. Now, this is part of working hard. This is part of breaking a sweat. In other words, we travel on this journey called life, and what we do in terms of the little successes and the big successes that we happen to come by generally comes by the preparation that we've made, the awareness that we have, and the hard work that we put in. And I think that encapsulates this first principle of building success in your life or becoming successful. Anything worthwhile doesn't happen without preparation. I did also put out another video. I think it was video 54, Boots Against the Stream. And in that particular episode, I was quoting something that my former professor back in the 90s, early 90s, told to us as students in his class. He said that he read a passage in a book about a person walking in a stream, and it was boots against the stream. Well, in reality, it was a misquote. It wasn't boots against the stream, it was boats against the current. And I'd always remembered it as he had said it, and it was a story by F. Scott Fitzgerald. But in any case, the idea was that we're going to be facing opposition. We're going to be facing barriers to our success or to what it is we're striving to do for ourselves and for our family, whether it's our personal life or our professional life. Or there's going to be barriers put up in front of us to prevent us from doing something for others, whether they're families or friends. It might be a charity type activity that we're involved in by giving of our time and effort and perhaps our money. But in any case, whatever it is, we're going to be facing that current of opposition coming at us. And here's the thing, if we're not aware that it's coming at us, we're going to be caught by surprise. So how do we become prepared and we see those things out on the horizon, and if we can see and recognize them as threats to our well-being, our family's well-being, then we can take measures to counteract those threats and prevent them from occurring and knocking us off the trail or the path towards success. And again, I have to say, it takes a lot of hard work. And before I finish this thought, I'd like to read a poem. And I know you're going to say, here's another poem, right? It's a poem about what it means to build character. And success is achieved through building character, and it takes a lot of hard work. So this is a poem. I wrote it around 2017, 2018, and let's see what it has to say. In the hill country, where the mesquite is gnarly and never straight, and the measure of a man's worth is not the wallet, but the hardness of his work, we build. We build with stone, rough, hard, backbreaking stone, the type that wears a man down before building him back up. Chipping and shaping, we fashion firm foundations, foot-thick walls of protection, and staircases leading to places once beyond our reach. I would rather build upon what God and nature has already provided, and with the sweet sweat upon my brow, working so that when complete, body and mind are exalted by the weariness. Only then should we know satisfaction. So you see, in working hard toward your success, by becoming prepared and aware and knowledgeable, building that expertise, you're able to, through that hard work, prepare yourself for what's next. Here's the thing. You can't achieve success by not preparing yourself. It takes a lot of hard work. And if you see something that you wish to accomplish in your life, whether you want to be, an electrician, or you want to be a construction worker or builder, or you want to be a doctor, a medical doctor, or a teacher, whatever it is, a researcher, you don't achieve those things by sitting back and waiting on other people to do things for you. And sometimes that's a hard message for people to hear. You don't achieve those things by digging a hole for yourself, because sometimes those holes become pits, and the pits have walls and they completely surround you. You don't do those sorts of things. What you try to do is take a practical approach as an adult and understand what resources you have at hand and how you might be able to use those resources in order to build and acquire the tools that you're going to need for that next step toward success. This thing about, anything you get that's worthwhile, it's not worthwhile unless you break a sweat, is really true. I mean, I can think about the things that have been given to me, and don't get me wrong, I really appreciate those sorts of charitable acts, whether from my parents or from friends or what have you, in my life as I grew up from a child into a young adult into an adult that's a working career type person. I do appreciate all those, but I've got to tell you, I never appreciated those as much as I appreciated setting a plan in place, working toward that goal, which is the ultimate culmination of achieving all that you have to accomplish in the plan. And then looking back and saying, that was hard. It was difficult. I didn't get to play a lot. I didn't get to go do the things that I wanted to do in my hobbies. But you know what? Achieving that thing in my life that better prepared me for success was so exalting that there's nothing that can compare to it. You see that when we work so hard that our spirit and our body is exhausted, we are exalted. Think about that. When you work so hard in preparing and striving for that thing in your life, which is so important to you and your family, for the increased net well-being for you and your family. When you're mentally and physically exhausted, you will become exalted in the effort, because that's what it's all about. It's not about money and more money and creating lots and lots of wealth in terms of financial well-being. And I understand we want to do that. Absolutely. We want to have financial stability. But our wealth is not just in that financial stability. It is doing the things that are necessary for ourselves and for our family to be secure, to be taken care of going into the future. That's what it means to build character. That's what it means to have success in your life. So that first principle of working hard at working hard, of breaking a sweat and taking care of yourself and depending on less from others, less help from others, is what brings that feeling of exaltation. And with that, my friend, I'm going to end this episode by simply saying, take care of yourself by working hard, and by doing so, you will take care of your family. All the best.